Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. What is this video about? Well, I am going to try and use Granulator 3 as a reverb or delay. How am I going to do that and what does that mean? Well, first of all, I need to make it quite clear that I have partially stolen this idea from this video by this chap here, Nicolas Thayer. Hope I've pronounced that right. He is one of my esteemed patros. He's a bro from Patro, supporter of this channel, and also has his own channel, which is, you know, it does stuff like this insane granular drum glitch stuff. You're going to like it. If you like this channel, you're going to like this one. So do me a favor, go and subscribe. Do that for me. Do it now. And what he does in this video is he uses Granulator 3 to sort of real-time capture stuff from other places in the set. And I saw that and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I want to do that, but maybe I can use it like a delay or a reverb. So I'm going to sort of try and do that. I'm going to set something up and then send stuff into Granulator using the capture thing, but do it at sort of, you know, consecutive musical intervals or not. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. It was just an idea, popped into my head. And I thought, oh, I've got to do that. I'm going to do it now. So first of all, I'm going to delete my resample channel. I'm just going to make something twinkly to get something going. Let's just make electric here, and then I'll just draw in some notes here. Let's get all this stuff going. And I'll just draw in like a load of C3s here. Let's maybe come down 90 BPM. Let's get all the velocities here, turn them down, turn up the deviation, and then open the chance, and then maybe select these ones here and give them all a little bit of chance. That's fine. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, very good. And then let's go and get the random. Put the random in here. Turn on the scale aware button and just have them all sort of going. Just some random C major stuff, and then let's get the note length in and give it a little bit more note length. There we go. Lovely. A little bit more chance, I think. Okay, volume. Right, okay, so that's pretty good. Now, if I go to Granulator, turn this on, I can choose to capture the input from a source. This is really cool stuff. I think maybe Ableton should upgrade all their samplers so that they all do this. I think that would be fun. But Granulator 3 does it. You can sample directly into it from somewhere else in the set, and you do that here with this source input. So I'm going to choose Electric 2, and I'll just say post mix, and we'll record for 2 seconds. And then I click this button, and it records it in. Just records 2 seconds worth, and then I can go to this track and play it now. Doing this with my push. Let's turn it up a little bit. Very nice. And of course we can move around it and stuff. Okay, very cool. But now you can't, it won't like cycle. It's not working like a delay. It's just working like a one-shot sampler. And I was thinking, oh, it'd be nice if you could just kind of have it keep capturing over and over and over again, like a kind of tape loop, like a delay line. And then I thought, how would I do that? Well, I kind of stumbled upon something. What we're going to do is we're going to get the envelope MIDI. We're going to put the envelope MIDI in here. And we're going to use that to trigger the capture button from a MIDI clip. So let's do that right now. Let's set this to remote, put the attack down, the decay down, sustain all the way up, and the release down, turn velocity off, and map that to the capture button. So now when I press any MIDI note on this track, it starts capturing. You can see I'm pressing a MIDI. Well, you can't see I'm pressing a MIDI note, but I am. And when I do that, it's triggering the capture button. So I'm pressing the note and I'm letting go. So why don't we draw in a MIDI note here? Let's draw in C3, put it all the way to the end. And let's just zoom in a little bit and just pull it down a little bit. I'm going to hold command and not command, option, no, control. Damn it, which one is it? That one. Oh yes, hold command so that I can do it off the grid like that. So just a little gap there so that we get a definitive off note. Right, so now it's going to kind of just record in every bar. We can't really hear it, but let's transpose it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so Slightly less deviation on the velocity, I think. Something like that. Okay. Okay, so it's very glitchy, but that's okay. I don't mind that. Some of you might, but I don't mind. We're just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, so yeah. Whenever that MIDI clip triggers now, it enables the capture into the granulator and also starts playing back the recently captured sound with MIDI. Now, if we put the transposition down here and then move this up, so now we're playing C4, it's going to trigger the sampler to start recording, start capturing, and start playing back what it's just recently captured an octave higher. Couple of cycles, maybe it'll do it. There we go. Now there are some clicks. There's not really anything I can do about that. So this isn't perfect. We can sort of dial in a little bit more attack here and a little bit of release. But I don't think this is really what this was designed to do. But I don't care. We're just going to try it anyway. So let's do something like, what about if we did this like every eighth note? So let's set the grid to eighth notes and just draw in a load of eighth notes here and then get them all and just shrink them down a little bit like that. Right. So it's not really a delay or a reverb, but it is something that we will be able to send audio into it and it will respond to what we're doing. Right now, we're kind of directly routing the audio from this track into the instrument on this track. But I'm going to do something different with that in a minute. Let's just have a little bit of a fiddle first. So we're going to apply a bit of variation to the grains, I think. I need my info box. Where's my info box? There it is. So variation. No, there's no information about that. Okay, goodbye info box. But I think this is the variation for how much the grain size is. Now, there's obviously all of these different modes here. I'm going to put this to cloud. Let's actually put those MIDI notes back down to C1. C3 rather, okay. So, yeah, we are hard routing the audio from this track into this instrument. I don't want to do that. I want to do it slightly differently. So what I'm actually going to do is send the audio from this electric track to send A on this one. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to tell Granulator to receive the audio from return A return. So we'll go down here to source and we'll choose A return. And I'm going to say, well, we'll leave it on post mixer for now. So it's recording, it's capturing. If I turn this send down, it'll stop. So the audio is being sent to this channel and then being captured back on the instrument on this channel. A little complicated, but interesting. It takes a little while for it to fill up. Oh no, I have to send it first. Here we go. So let's send that in. Okay. So we can pitch this up. Okay, it is very clicky, but I have a plan for that later. Just stick with the clicks for now, okay? So effectively, the delay time, if you will be determined by how often we trigger a MIDI note. If I actually just did this from push, let's see if this works. So now I'm doing this by pressing a MIDI note on my push. time I trigger a note, it starts capturing and starts playing back because we're using this envelope MIDI thing with just sustain to turn that capture button on and off, on and off. We can hold that, let go, play again. We're going to grab another little bit. But in order to sort of imply that it's a delay, we basically just kind of draw in the notes that we want for the delay time. So if we do something like 16th notes, let's just draw in a load of 16th notes here. And again, I think it's maybe a good idea to just make them a little shorter, hold command and drag them in a little bit like that, just so that there's a clear gap in between. So now we're going to have like a 16th note delay. Are we? No. Why is that? Ah, because I need to turn monitor back to auto. There we go. If we do like one really long note, let's say C3, legato that, and then duplicate. Where's the duplicate button? Duplicate that. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do it this way. Okay, so then we can have like a 2-bar delay. And then that sort of gives us more time. Why didn't it work? There we go. So let's maybe try some things with the LFO. Where do you get to the LFO? Where is it? Oh, it's here, right? So let's go for like a move. Don't know what this means. Move. LFO amount, LFO frequency, and then let's try and map that to the position. Right. Let's pull the amount down, maybe. No. All right. Where's it gone? Why is it all the way over there? There's some silence there. Why is there silence? Let's change this to 1 second. Ah, I know, maybe because I didn't put the gap in. Yeah, you see, that's a good example of why that gap, I think, helps a little bit. Let's just make a little gap here like this. Okay, this is going to work better, I think. I'm confident this is going to work. Come on, do it. Come on, don't make me look like a fool on YouTube. This is very important. There we go. All right, let's just try sine up and down. Okay, let's split the position to 50. Yeah, okay, all right. So the envelopes are probably bipolar either side of the center position. So if I put the position to 50% and I put this to maybe 50%, then it's going to go exactly either direction, or maybe not. Okay, but let's see. Come on, record something now. There we go. Okay, let's move the position a little bit more to the start. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Right, now we've kind of got a granular delay reverb type sound going on, and then the minute that I decide that it's doing it correctly, it stops. Okay, it's back. So if we want to stop sampling, we just turn the send down here, and eventually it'll just go away. So this is interesting. I'm just going to riff with this for the rest of the video. Variation on the grains, position. Okay, all right, let's try something a little different. That was good, but I just had another idea. I'm going to make two separate MIDI events, one for the recording and one for the playing back. So I'm going to trash that envelope thing. I'm going to make a new MIDI track, and I'll call this the capture trigger. And I'll put the envelope MIDI on that. And I'll use a separate MIDI track, separate MIDI notes to trigger the granulator. So let's turn velocity off. Let's go to map, go over here, map that. Right, so now I can have a separate thing here. So it doesn't matter what note it is. Let's just draw in one like this. And where's that one with all the 16th notes? Let's do maybe a dotted 3, what are we doing here? Let's maybe make this 2 bars long. Let's set this to 8th notes, and we'll do oh no, let's put it back to 16th notes actually. 16th notes, and we'll do 3 16th notes like this, and then we'll kind of get a dotted 8th note thing. So let's do all of those, and then again, well actually, because we don't need to shorten these because these are just playing back. Right, okay, so what have we got? We've got a MIDI note to trigger the recording and another MIDI note to play it back, which is the same MIDI that's on the instrument. Let's see what we get here. So we're firing off that. Let's make that a little bit shorter like that. Yeah, perfect, right. Now, because it's so cloudy anyway, it's sort of... Let's maybe... see if we can do something to sort of... It's kind of cloudy anyway. What can we sort of set this stuff all back to? Let's turn all the modulation off. Oh, I did the wrong clip. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. There we go. That's a little bit more like a delay reverb type thing. Can you kind of hear that? Okay, it's gone. All right, let's maybe add in some chants to determine whether the capture gets enabled or not. What could we do with that? Let's maybe make this really short. What's that? A quarter note? Let's maybe make this a quarter note and just ever so slightly close that in a little bit like that. And then we'll just put the chance down to something like just under 50%. So now there's a 50% chance that it's actually going to capture anything, which could be interesting. Let's try this. Whoops. I'm a little bored of this electric thing. I'm going to swap it out for something else. Let's put meld in here with meld. Let's swap this for meld. And then we could... Whoa, that's loud. Maybe we could just use this. Yes. A little bit more harmonics. Yes, that sounds much better. A bit more volume here, I think. is still a little clicky, but we can mask that with some reverb. But this is kind of interesting because now that we've separated the triggering of the capturing and the playing back, we can kind of shape the amplitude a little bit better with the envelope here. So I'll just put in a little bit of release. And I think the clicks are just happening when you kind of press the capture button again. There's probably just going to be a click. I didn't really come up with anything to get rid of that. I thought about kind of using the envelope to also turn up and turn down the audio before it gets captured, but it sounded guff. Do people say guff? If you've made it this far, leave the word guff in the comments. Let's add some more notes in, and we'll put some like an octave up and some an octave below. And we'll give these all like a little bit of chance, all of them together. So now we're adding chance to whether the notes even play back or not. So we've got chance for whether the sound gets captured and chance for whether it gets played back or not. This is crazy. Okay, so if we now set the input to post effects, not post mix, not post mixer, then we can mute this, because actually what we've done is we've actually doubled up the gain for the meld by sending it to this track. We're actually hearing both of them. We're actually hearing two versions of that, but now I can mute that. And it's still going to go into the granulator because it's getting the audio before the fader. So all of this stuff we can not worry about. And indeed, what we can actually do is if we go to sends only and have that turned up, then we can just hear the result. Sometimes it's a clusterfuck and sometimes it's not. All right, let's put this back to main. Let's see what happens now if we feed this back into itself. Let's see what happens. Let's go back to post mixer and let's feed this back to the return track at where it came from. See if this works. Oh, I need to unmute that. Do I need to unmute that? Yes, I think I do. Wow, that's it. That's the end of the video. Oh my goodness me. Okay, limiter, I think. Limiter. Where's the limiter? Here we go. Let's put the limiter on the return track. And let's maybe put a limiter on the main as well. Okay, let's bring everything back. See what it's like now. Okay, I went a little bit too far with that. And I crapped out the entire thing, but that's fine. It was fun to look at though for a few seconds. Crapped out audio. Maybe just send a little bit back. let's make 2 of them. Let's duplicate both of these and see if this is mapped to, let's just check again. Let's go map and yeah, okay. So we can have 2 of these now doing 2 completely different things. Let's rename this to send. Check the granulator. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So now we can have 2 of them. Pan them. 2 separate, independent Granulator 3 reverb things. So in order to mask those clicks, we could just simply put some reverb on them. In fact, why don't we route them all? Let's just make it really complicated for no reason. Why don't we route them to a second return with the reverb on it? So let's put a reverb here, dry, wet, up. So let's turn the decay down and the size down. And then for these, we'll choose send only, sends only. Let's not send them back to send A. And then we can just bus them, well, not bus them, but send them to send B. And now they're going to come out of this channel, I think. Oh no, I didn't do it for this one. Here we go. And now the clicks are gone. We just sort of masked the clicks with some reverb. So of course, at any point we want to stop this happening, we just turn down this send here, and eventually they just go. But they don't really tail off very well. So if you wanted to, you could just put a bit of delay on here or something. Where's the delay? Let's get a delay here, something like this. Takes a little while. All right, let's try something else. Let's just maybe try one more thing. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see what it's like with beats or something. I'll just go and make a quick, like, 808 thing or something. Nothing too exciting. Something like that. Obviously the best beat of my career. So let's make a new granulator, put that on this track, and I'll go back to the first idea of triggering and playing back at the same time. So we'll go to IO, we'll choose the 808 core kit, we'll go post mixer, that's fine, and then I'll go and get the envelope MIDI, which is here. Where is it? Nope, that's, yep, envelope MIDI, put that there, yeah. And then set this to remote, and then tack down, decay down, sustain up, release down, velocity off, map to the capture button. And then let's just draw in one note here like this, and just bring it down a little bit like that, okay. Let's see if we can actually get this to sort of just play back without any granular stuff. Let's set this to, oh my God, what have I done here? Set this to, wow, that's a big list. Post effects, there we go. That's almost in time. Very quiet. Grains. Density 2. Set that to 0.5. Huh. It's fun. Very quiet. So this isn't really the delay reverb thing. This is more like we're just kind of looping. But the loop, you could probably time it well enough so that, because we're doing this with MIDI to trigger the capture and the playback, it's kind of in time. It's in time to me. Fun. There's lots of fun to be had with this. So let's maybe... set this to 0.25. Slightly out of time. Let's maybe restart the transport, see if that helps. Put a chord in there. Wow. What the hell have I... Oh, it's a little bit loud. Get the limiter, quickly, get the limiter. Where is it? Oh my God, I can't find the limiter. Quickly. Where is it? Oh, where is it? Okay, here it is, right. Put that in there. Okay, good. Right, so everything's fine now, right. Small panic there, it's all taken care of. Wow. What's this shape thing? Shape? No. Some of these controls have been... Oh, shape, here we go. Defines shape or length of crossfade between grains. Ah, I could have maybe used that to declick the other ones. Oh, well, it's too late now. This is definitely going to get the girls dancing, this beat, isn't it? There we go. Okay, that's a little bit more granular reverby, I suppose. Let's hear it with the drums. What on earth? Right, let's just make another clip here. And maybe do... What? Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Here we go. So this random thing just applies some random clusters to the transposition, I think. So let's bring the grain size down. So yeah, again, here the sort of the delay time, if you will, is determined by how often you trigger a MIDI note. So you could just basically have different clips for different MIDI delay times, rather. So we could like divide this by 2, and now we've got them. And then we could maybe have another one. We could say maybe that these ones are something like that, 3/8 notes. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit dubby. So this scan thing is quite cool because if you think about it in terms of 1, 0.5, 0.25, you're going normal speed, half the speed, a quarter of the speed, or times 2 is twice the speed. 0.5. Let's do... Oh, I've run out of scenes. Let's have this one. Maybe just record. Yeah, so you can also sort of choose. Thing is, it's going to stop playing. If we put the release up. This is crazy. I mean, this is obviously some of my best work, really, isn't it? This was not what I planned to do. This is why I'm sort of zoning out a little bit. I should have done this in my rehearsal. I'm essentially making a video of me rehearsing to do this. Okay, let's bring back all the other stuff. decided I want to change something. So I'm going to go to the granulators, put these back to post effects, and then I can mute the track because I'm hearing two versions of Meld again. I don't want that. Is this going to work? Yeah, it's working. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, you could probably get lost in that for a very long time and maybe find some interesting things along the way. Anyway, so I think I'm going to finish there. Why don't we just do a quick recap on what we've done, because it's already too much for my brain. So first of all, you make an instrument, you get your instrument, you send the output of that instrument to a return track. You then create your granulator and you choose the source to be that return track. Oh my gosh. And whether you go post effects or post mixer is up to you. Then you use the envelope MIDI thing to use a MIDI note to turn the capture on and off. And then here I'm using separate MIDI notes to play that back, and the sort of rate, how often that they play back, is determined by how often the MIDI notes are. And then you can do some interesting stuff with velocity and probability and maybe even MIDI effects as well to play it back. So you've got two independent kind of events here. One to trigger the capture with MIDI, and another one to play it back. Or in this case here, you can do it with just one note. So you map the envelope MIDI to the capture button, but it also is on the same track as the granulator, so that when you play the note, it starts to play it back. Pretty cool stuff. What did I do that? I don't remember doing that. God, that just shows how much I'm sort of partially paying attention to what I'm doing. It's very easy to just zone out and tweak things and get lost. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go and put this on my Patreon now, where if you'd like to support this channel, you can do that and get access to this set plus loads of other stuff going back 10 years. And if you want, you can get some private tuition with me, and there's some other things going on in there as well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm posting stuff almost all the time, almost every day, a couple of times a week. I'm always just putting stuff on there, even if they're not in videos. And don't forget again to go and subscribe to this dude here, because I stole his idea. I did write to him and say, I'm stealing your idea. And he went, please go ahead. I don't know if he said it like that. That's just... Anyway, that's it. Let's just have a little bit more listen to this just for a laugh. And then... something weirdly relaxing about watching those lines go by and they fade out. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.